Back live. Check, check. All right. So Cynthia was going to discuss the distinctions in the type of federal entities and our classification. Did you want to go ahead and do that, Cynthia, or do you want to eat and let me? Okay.
The only thing that I was thankfully, and thank you, Commissioner Sarr had sent us a lot of grant opportunities. But the grant opportunities were for FIPS. They were directed for FIPS. We're not a FIP, we're a FAP. And the difference is that FAPs are state and federal organizations or entities. FIPS can be private, they could be local groups or agencies and organizations. Some of our local commissions are FIPS. FAPs, we actually do enforce. So many of the local commissions don't enforce, but they can do outreach. And a lot of times the grants that come out or the money that is needed or received is for outreach, for events, activities that happen. So if you see anything else that fits for us, please let us know so that we can look into that. That was the main thing that I had for that. And that and the fact that we were talking about funding, we do get general funds. We have work share agreements with HUD and also with EDLC. We also used to get, we haven't heard yet, they pay us for training or they reimburse us for our training, as long as it's housing training. They give us a C grant, which is kind of open. We can buy supplies and things like that for people who work in housing. And it's very specific to housing. We normally get a partnership grant. We didn't get it this year. We started it and no one ever said anything else about it. Nobody does. But in the partnership grant, that's how we produce our brochures and our booklets, and we do a lot of outreach. It's through the partnership grant. So we do have other funds, but they're not guaranteed necessarily. So just wanted to let you know. Gonna have a huge impact. Hopefully, this is only temporary. And I don't know how you define temporary, but
Yeah, and compared to our case processing, they're generally somewhere in the range of 15% of the amount. So they're smaller amounts, those grants usually are. Not sure why, but the administrative costs were significant last year. And those are generally costs that we charge salaries to for dedicated housing employees. People that, as a percentage, generally, like if they do a third of their work on housing, we'll charge 33% of their salaries to it. We really could probably just use one person because it's not enough, but we do it as a percentage. So the budget session is coming up. Starts in January. So we'll find out a lot. I wasn't really planning on discussing it very much today, but our budget is pretty, for the most part, pretty standard. About 89% of our costs are payroll. So not a lot of wiggle room with the other stuff. You get rent, IT costs, utilities, and then that doesn't leave much for other stuff, right? Training, a little bit of travel, miscellaneous, office supplies, copy machines, things like that. Now, in the budget, we do have a section for additional budget requests. Actually, have what we requested last time. I did. Sent it to Maria because I thought she would be sitting here while I was sharing this. But I could pull it up. So that's really where the meat and bones of the anything that we would like to add goes. Now, I will tell you, I've been in some meetings with the Office of the State Budget Director, and yeah, they're doing something new this year. They want us to submit our additional budget requests to them with let's see if this gets us there. With a justification for the reasoning behind why we're requesting the whatever the additional budget requests may be. These are all salaried positions that we requested last year. Or 2 years ago. I'll make that a little bigger. Maybe a little too big. So they really want numbers like, okay, have you seen an increase in cases that justifies an additional enforcement officer? Have you seen an uptick in intake inquiries, so that are gonna, I don't know how strict they're gonna be on it. I've never had to submit it to the governor's office this early before. I've kind of had this vetting process for what they're gonna let us put in. Usually we just put in, or we want to put in. Yeah, so we'll see. That's what I was saying, that we're gonna start on Monday. But we'd get through this meeting, I'd give Cynthia tomorrow to get caught up on some stuff, and then I'm gonna on October 15th. Oh, I'm sorry. When are the additional budget requests due?
I said that the process this time around is the governor's office asking.
Yes, that's right.
To them, what's the submittal date to them?
I told them the first week of September. There's not a date that they told me. So I just know.
Without intending to indict Paul's predecessor, who was no one.
Yeah.
Couldn't we point out the fact that, I don't want to use the word failing, but we were unable to meet some of the court dates? I know there were things that they just, what if we brought the shelf life down on cases by?
This question for me.
Yeah.
In legal, I mean, everything's recurrent. So I mean, I think we had a number earlier thrown out about cases in enforcement, case age. I'm not sure what number you're.
Maybe it's enforcement case. What have you brought down?
It,
I don't know. I know that it's significant.
Yeah.
no, we
Rather than saying how many new intakes there are, et cetera, I think it should also be expressed that there was a unacceptable shelf life, or whatever that term is, case age. And, sorry, not called, Cedric has brought it down to the point that we are now addressing cases as they come in. So more are getting addressed, even if we don't, I don't know how much our input has changed, but certainly our productivity has changed.
Sure. So
Yeah, no, that's not accurate in a sense of when you lost, because we lost 2 staff this year. So we have an abundance of cases, in a sense, because of the shortage of staff.
but the case age is down.
Heritage is down.
So it's both and, in a sense that, yes, the case age is down, and we are, or have over the last 6 months been more productive. My
I think
guess
that should
is,
somehow be presented
yeah,
as we're asking this to for the governor's office, that if you look at what we've accomplished with that. The reason we need staff, we need to replace these people, is because we don't want to go back to a 340 day shelf life on a case.
sure.
If we don't have the staff, that is going to happen.
Well,
I think it'd be better to say the increase of went up.
Yes.
Therefore, cases have went up.
yeah, I think that's probably the better measure.
I think they're trying to get you, because that's what's going on.
Okay.
He's had more intake staff, there's more cases coming to me, more cases going because of right now to mediation, and that's where we're starting to see more staff needed.
To your point, we certainly like to avoid the backlog. I think we referred to it as for a long time.
Yeah,
In the future, but we've since resolved that particular issue that you, when you started speaking about it, we resolved that issue. But now I think where it comes in is more things are coming to one, which means more coming to Cedric, which means more come down the line throughout. So
Okay.
And 3 very new employees, right? Which is, so I don't want to speak for Cedric.
Learning curve.
Yeah, you may see that tick back up a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Because one resignation, one retiree, and then we got, so 3 brand new people. Cedric, that takes, I mean, he has been extremely busy training and hiring. Interviewing takes time, the whole, the recruitment process and takes time. So, yeah,
Just had to be careful how you frame it and context you put in. I think that's a certain, in terms of other discussions that we had today has been around communication and outreach. What we can do with additional, we're limited now. And we're really, for the most part, not serving the entire state, even though we have a statewide mission. And that, new money for communication, social media places us in a different, it will enable us better to serve the entire state. If that's in fact the objective, so something along those lines.
yeah,
But I think that we're pretty clear on that. I want to move back to, the things that I guess a couple of things based on these my notes. Is one is the mission and vision, which we need additional work on. Given the options of what's there, the calendar for next year, possible meetings around the state, and I think we ought to really seriously consider that we don't need to meet every month. So in the package ought to be a whole of whether we go to quarterly meetings. If we go to quarterly meetings, what the schedule would be around the state.
can I make a suggestion as far as that goes? We talk about no more voting on cases. Now, I do sometimes have cases that must be voted on, which will frustrate, quarterly meeting would frustrate that. Do you have in mind, say, perhaps a special meeting?
We always got the letters we have called special meetings.
Okay,
Deal
I
with
just-
them.
okay.
Oh, no, we couldn't function if we didn't have that capability.
Okay,
That'd all be virtual.
that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
With the 48-hour notice
Yeah,
virtual.
We can do that.
That's right.
Uh,
And those are brief. Those are
I
brief.
think we talked about different methods of communicating. The use of social media. Is something written up about how we would do that, how we would go about it in terms of a staff standpoint. Media, I think those are at least the highlights that have come out of today's thing. Then a section in terms of how to engage the commissioners more. And I think there have been a number of ideas thrown around, is that we could write that up fairly quickly the next week or so. Get that out to all of the commissioners so they can review it in advance of next month's meeting. Come prepared to discuss and make a decision around which way we want to go. What else, what am I missing, folks?
Sounds pretty good.
I think especially as our budget is being looked at, decreasing the number of meetings. To a legislator to say it's an organization whose policy commission meets quarterly to overview what they're doing, makes us sound a lot less active when we're meeting. I would much prefer for the security and longevity of our budget existence, et cetera, that we increase what is done at the meeting rather than decrease the meetings.
Yeah.
I certainly echo what Nita said. I would love to have more productive steps come out of every meeting. But I think decreasing the meetings to the outside certainly looks like decreased participation and less productivity.
Just remember, that is only a suggestion. We also suggested ways to make the commissioners more engaged in the process. So if that's what you suggest for greater engagement requires more participation, then I say you don't increase the meeting. So, I think we just have to balance it out in terms of the discussion of where we want to go and how we do it. But again, if our meeting's gonna be 37 minutes every month, I cannot see justifying monthly meeting. That's my personal opinion.
And the travel, I mean, it's not significant, but I travel, it'd be better off for you if I stayed home and did it on Zoom.
And the expense
And
to the.
Duke always.
That's what I mean.
So let's staying in hotels for a minute. Part of this, but you have to budget for that, and what percentage of the budget does that occupy?
I'm sorry, I got.
Hotels and travel and
The
things.
budget is lodging for the commissioners. You need to travel, we can have that.
I'll have to look. It's not significant, you know, because we have commissioners here in town and some attend virtually.
Okay, so it's not a six-figure.
No.
Were we not saying there was Carl? I don't.
Well,
I mean, I can tell.
I missed.
Well- I can't break out lodging. I'd have to do a little research, but
Okay.
I think
Oh,
we
actually,
could
I probably
do
could.
one virtual, one in person, one virtual. Just to see how the changes, since there are hopefully gonna be a lot of changes this year or next year. Maybe that is obviously can you do more, or we really are fine just doing online.
Well, possibly could we, one of these outreaches that they want us to go do? Could we count that as a meeting and just go 30 minutes early and sit down and see if there's anything to discuss, then participate in this community activity, and that counts for that month.
That works too, that'll work. I like that. Okay, I've gone through my list. Anything to add to that? Anything else from the staff, Cynthia or
No,
Holt or Randy
I've got-
or Cedric? or
please take the
Mike?
cards, please take. the
yeah,
cards.
and I've got a couple small housekeeping things.
One question before we get to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I know that Juan is everywhere all the time, but, if we could have a list of this. So it's not just the state fair, but for example, the booth at the World Fest. Which is not this weekend, but next weekend. I can certainly stop by that booth and help out. A few of these are when the Jewish holidays are, so I'm gonna be out, but. The NAACP Kentucky State Conference, we could have some commissioners there expressing to people who do care about our missions. What it is we're doing, how they can get involved, how they can promote us. How we can help. You already have people who are committed to what we're trying to accomplish, and they can support our mission wherever they are in the Commonwealth. Let people know if you have an issue, here's who you can get in contact with. So I can, like, the August one and the late November one I'm available for, the ones in between are during the Jewish holidays. But I think if we have a list like this at every meeting, there's gonna be at least one or two commissioners who could join the ones that are appropriate to have commissioners in it. And double, triple our presence, or even be able to lower our staff presence there. Have that made up by commissioners.
Is there,
Yeah.
that and budget? Do we have pre-made publicity? Like whenever you go to an event, we have a tent with a logo. Is that all up to date?
We don't have a tent, but we have tables, we have tablecloths, we have brochures, we have pull-ups.
So we do have all of that,
Yeah.
and none of that has to be,
Well, the brochures are gonna have to be redone. The tablecloths have the state information, not like the HUD emblem or anything. So.
they're like a to-go package that we have for us.
we can do.
Like, we're saying we're gonna be more involved. There are certain things that maybe Juan or the team would not be able to do at last notice that maybe we could have, hey, I can pick up the little box and with like a tablecloth or with brochures already.
Like it's in our area,
Yeah,
they're
our area.
duplicated, maybe they're busy, maybe we could go to whatever.
Cause there are certain things that pop up in my Facebook feed that I wasn't aware of, and I'll go last minute, but I'll just go as a person, not to share information that we could probably
That'd be great.
give out. And
Well, I've
it's
actually
like-
been going to a lot of those things and I just wear my badge. And when people ask me,
I don't have a badge.
You don't have a badge?
No,
You don't have a badge?
no.
I thought everybody had a badge. I'm sorry, you
I
will
use
have a
mine to
badge.
get
You
tickets, I
gave me
put it
my
at the conference, like,
princess to give
we're
back
part
to
of
her.
Doesn't-
Yeah, right.
hasn't worked so far, I'm hoping.
I was gonna say about the lease.
Everybody is-
They used to be in here and I thought they do stay here.
Like I would honestly love a little to-go thing. I don't know if that's in the budget, but like to have at least the tablecloth so I can put the tablecloth and the brochures on there.
And they have those.
That grabs more attention than my Dollar General.
Yes.
No, we can do that, get a tablecloth, maybe just one small pull-off that has, you know.
Something like that.
Tabletop. We can do a
Yeah,
tabletop.
tabletop.
Yeah, just a tabletop, and so it's not as bulky for you.
What about the
Give
plastic?
us a little
though?
bit of time because we have to, change our brochure.
But,
But we'll have them.
yeah, so with the list, one thing that I've been trying to do in our report is to include any event that's coming up as soon we know them. And the purpose of that is for you, let's say, and help us, you know, spread out the word, but also attend if you can. And set up, help the staff with you, if you can. And so if you hear, for example, you can be part of it, if you know, manager or owner of a business that you think we can do next arrangements, meet us, you can come and give the training. Just tell us what topic, it's only employment, housing, or sexual harassment, or disability presentation. We're working, that would help a lot.
And we want to reach out to new people. A lot of the things that we're doing, we've been doing for years. And so they're used to seeing us there, but we wanna reach out to some new people that normally wouldn't have, like I said, our agency there, so that we can make sure other people. Also, just let us know.
If you can send over the right links, of everything that we have, like if we're gonna be more present, more local. We need a tag, but we need tags of correct things. So we, if we have out in hand, but in a specific email that we can just refer to, that'll have a specific name and I can give the search in Google. Let's say, I mean, like search on there. The human rights, like, come up for the tag or stuff like that. Get the right ones, because like I said, there's multiple.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I've got them all. I'll send them out. Got them right
You
here.
got a lot of great ideas, a lot of us need to, finalize, put it in a form that we can implement and execute. That's where we are. Is there any other business to come before this body?
Oh, I just had 30 seconds of housekeeping. Yeah. So if you're in travel status and you want to get paid for your meals and you don't have a receipt, just check it. Cause I've been kind of estimating and, you know, I'm not filling them out anymore. Karen was doing it. And then, so I'll start including this for the near future with the travel vouchers, but like if you're in travel status, like if you leave your house at 4:59 and nobody checks, but and you're in travel until after 9, like you're coming here, which obviously you would be, you're in travel status the entire time, just check mark the dinner box. Unless you have a receipt, in which case just staple your receipt or throw it in the folder and then you'll get the full amount. If you want direct deposit, send me your checking account information. That way you won't get a check in the mail. Yeah. So
See what your amounts are.
you can. Generally in Kentucky, here are the amounts. If you're traveling out of state in a high amount area. And then this is the current mileage amount. Changes quarterly. I can send you all this if you'd like.
Can look it up.
You don't have to
I
put the
did.
amounts in. You just put a check.
Enough.
Right, yeah. You just check a box, I'll take care of everything else. And then direct deposit information, and that's all for me.
Okay, anything else? Hearing none, you have a motion for adjournment,
So moved.
the second. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you all.